when they had that falling out, why was it so important for Bon Jovi to tour then when they've had so much fame and so much success? Why not give Richie some time? Or did he have plenty of time?
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
It was in the middle of the tour, right?
What's that?
It was in the middle of the tour.
No,
That's
Richie
true.
didn't show up for
Yeah.
the first night. Apparently, he didn't get on the plane. And the thing is that's where it comes in. It's like, cancel the shows.
Yeah.
Check on your boy. Because Richie, if I had to equate it, I'd say he was probably 30% of their success.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. Because after Doc and Richie, tell me anything that they've done that is going to live forever. Which is what drove that wedge. If you had to ask me, John Bon Jovi and Richie are cool.
Yeah.
If they saw each other, they'd probably give each other a hug. But I
Yeah.
think Richie was so hurt by that because of how much of his life he gave.
I would imagine so.
He's
yeah.
like, do it on your own, have fun with your guys.
It sounds like the same or a similar thing that happened with Van Halen then, between Eddie and Alex and the singer. So
Here's a hot take. Sammy Hagar just got his star on the Hall of Fame or Walk of Fame. He told me.
yeah,
I love Sammy Hagar, but
Yeah.
David Lee Roth, Van Halen.
but it all
This is where
both
it stops.
situations to me are basically fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, back and forth without bowing your chest up without actually saying, okay, why don't we settle down and think this through.
To the Van Halen brothers' credit, the way I understand it is they did stop the machine to wait on David to do his show tunes and his cover records, and then David basically was like, I can do it without you. I had a top 10 hit with California Girls.
I would
Okay,
argue.
well, that'd be ego.
Huge Van Halen fan. I like both. I would argue, just like you talked about Sunset Strip being two eras,
Van
Van
Halen's
Halen's the same way. It's two eras. You can like them both. I love the first three albums. I love the David Lee Roth stuff.
Yeah.
1984, I'll Wait, Drop Dead Legs, love it, right? Panama, Jump, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
So wait a minute, 84. So that's 40 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a 40-year kind of anniversary.
Of that album.
That
well,
record.
the album came out in 83. It came out in the
really?
summer of 83 is when that came out.
That's one of the records that changed my life.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I was a kid and got that tape, I was like,
Yeah.
But back to the Sammy Hagar stuff. See, Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth, amazing frontman. I would take,
Absolutely.
I would say Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth are very much, as far as singers go, they're very much Vince Neil and John Bon Jovi.
100%. David Lee Roth and Vince Neil are the same.
David Lee Roth and Vince Neil are. You watch David Lee Roth singing live.
Yeah.
Can't catch his breath. He's jumping all over the place. I get it's hard to sing, jumping all over the place. That's what he does. His show, right?
He's a showman. Yeah.
Sammy Hagar, he'll run around, but he's playing guitar, but he's hitting those melodies. He's hitting every chorus,
Good point.
and it sounds like the album.
Yeah.
Whether you like that or not, you go into a concert and just see, it doesn't sound exactly like the album, but it's the concert version. Fine. But I've seen them live with David Lee Roth and with Sammy, and I got to tell you, love both shows.
Wow.
But I know with Sammy, they had a lot more albums, a lot more hits.
True. But David Lee Roth was cut off short. So, I mean, had Sammy not come along, if they'd stayed together, how long would Van Halen have lasted?
I don't think David Lee Roth
albums?
wanted to do what Eddie Van Halen was doing.
Okay.
I don't think
but that's
David
what
Lee Roth would have stuck around anyway.
They ran their course with David, and they made their mark. 84 was the peak of their whole thing, and David Lee Roth wanted to see it. He wanted to see if he could do it without them. They gave him the chance, and he did, and then he started putting together a solo band, and they just moved on.
So maybe is it ego though, where you go? You've got so many people, you've got so much success, and so many people around you saying you're great that you feel like you can do all of this. I mean, hell, it's very difficult to be a solo artist and succeed. I guess he got a little bit of a taste of it, and he was like, okay, I don't need this band, and they're like, okay, we don't need you, or what? I don't know.
The band's name's Van Halen, right?
Right, which is Bon Jovi's a similar deal.
So if you're a side guy in that band, you're going to always feel like you're in the shadow a little bit.
Sure.
But David Lee Roth felt like, hey, I've always heard the expression, there's steak and sizzle to anything that makes it.
Yeah.
You got to have the substance, which was Eddie, Michael, and Alex, the musicians.
Yeah.
You have to have the sizzle. Steak and sizzle. to make a fajita. You got to have a
Sure.
steak and sizzle. David Lee Roth was the sizzle. As far as being a singer, a professional front guy, having his head on his shoulders, and being just as solid as a rock and roll dude, Sammy Hagar all day long.
Yeah.
But celebrating that era of decadence, David Lee Roth was and still is a maniac. If you watch interviews, he's still that guy.
But that's
He's
the
still
two.
crazy.
That's the two different eras that we were talking about on Sunset, right?
I think the lesson learned from this is if you're going to put a band together, don't name the band after yourself because you're going to have ego problems and you're going to have alpha male issues and things like that. I know this is off topic, but I've never forgiven Sting for leaving the Police, but the amount of
Worked out pretty good.
It worked out pretty damn good. The amount of success he's had is phenomenal. But I just love the three of them as the Police. But he obviously said, "I don't need you guys. I'm all the talent. I don't need you guys."
I'm going to turn something around on you here then.
Uh-huh.
All right. So the channel is Brady Brandwood.
Right.
Your lead singer right now is Leon.
Well, that's a good point.
Now
Leon's going to leave me and start his own channel.
He is a lobster.
Right.
Does it have to be Leon the Lobster, or could it just be Leon?
Yeah, but you got to educate people in the title.
Yeah.
Leon the Lobster. You don't have any. If I just said Leon, you wouldn't know if I was talking about a person, a band.
I'm wondering
Yeah,
what Leon's ego is going to be like.
Well, see, you have me worried now because he will probably dump me and do his own deal. He's like, I don't need this dude. He just throws food in for me. I can do it all myself. I'm the big guy. Yeah. So
Have you traded Leon out, or has he survived this long?
no, he's the same Leon. A few people have asked that.
Yeah,
because his colors are changing and stuff. But he's so
That's
big.
what I noticed.
That is the original Leon. He has never been replaced. I've had him for over 2 years. Bought him from a Publix seafood section. And it is the same, the one and only Leon. And like we were just talking, at this point, he's so big, I couldn't really trick anyone and replace him. He's just, he's way bigger. I mean, when I bought him, he was 1 pound. He's now 4 pounds. You're not going to find a 4-pound lobster at a grocery store. So
And we were talking, he may outlive you. He may outlive all of us.
Well,
80,
I don't
right?
know. I'm not going anywhere.
Keep that water clean.
It's like when you get a turtle, they tell you, figure out who you're going to pass it on to because they're going to live 200 years.
A lot of viewers have mentioned that in the comments and like, I hope you put him in your will, blah, blah, blah. I guess, down the road, if I had to say where he would go, I would love to see him go to the Georgia Aquarium. As Leon, this is and have his own space. But I don't want to talk about that now. I mean, that's
a ways
Leon's the
away.
best.
Yeah. No, but that's
years and
that's
years.
Great. It
and
looked
years
great. It looked great
and
in
years.
the cave segment. I loved how you're inserting some of your original style of storytelling.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get pounded by viewers for that segment because it's 10 minutes long. It's stepping away from the Leon content for 10 whole minutes to go and chase down these bats. But the comments have actually been positive, so I was really surprised and impressed because I love doing that stuff.
You love crawling in these abandoned holes in the ground.
Exactly. I mean, what else are you going to do with your day?
Dude, I love it, man.